What's up, guys? I'm back with a different sort of video. This video is not going to be a gameplay video. Well, it kind of is a gameplay video. But like, I need to explain a few things. So basically, as y'all may have noticed if y'all ever played the original Spider-Man 3, y'all probably noticed the HUD is very different. Basically completely different in terms of like all that stuff in the top left. So you're probably wondering what's happening, why is it different, you know, and that makes no sense, you know. That is because this is not the Spider-Man 3 you would expect. So earlier today I was just doing some YouTube watching when I came across a video that was talking about the debug build of the game. And if you don't know what the debug build of the game is, it's basically just a version of the game that the developers can use just to, like, you know, mess around and, you know, like, check out certain things with this menu right here. Now this is, you know, the debug menu. It lets you control certain aspects of the game. And now something that is super interesting is that this build of the game came out a good couple months after the original game came out. And they're probably wondering, that's strange, why did it come out after the game? That's because, okay, this game was apparently used as an early version for another Spider-Man game. This game was used as an early prototype version of Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Now, there's actually a bunch of stuff in this debug build that helps add to that basically confirms it. Some very cool things actually, including a playable mission or two. So first off, as y'all can see, we can change our character. Now we got, you know, the ones that are in the game, you know, Spider-Man, who I'm playing as right now, and then we can also just change to Peter. He does all the same things Peter does, Spider-Man does. Right. And then we can change the, you know, this game's black suit. I think the debug version of the games is slightly different. The coloring feels like slightly different. Yeah, it looks a bit more gray in this version, and the white spider is a lot more vibrant. And then, oh wait, we also have Harry Osborn's Green Goblin. How does this function? Okay, this is how this functions. Okay, no. Okay. No. Let's get back to Daily Bugle real quick. So here's where things get interesting. Oh crap. Let's just get back to the Daily Bugle real quick. I just accidentally fell off the top of... Oh no. Okay. Now that we're back to the Daily Bugle, here's where things get interesting. You're probably noticing these two things. Spider-Man RVB. I don't know what the RVB stands for, because the game's called Web of Shadows, but as you can see, we have a prototype version of the Spider-Man Web of Shadows model, with a lot of unused animations, actually, like this idle animation of him just kind of perching, which is honestly pretty cool. I wish, you know, they were probably in more of the games, because they're just pretty cool animations. And he also has a different landing animation for if you jump super high, he'll land. How do you come to... He does another different animation. He does one where he like lands with both his hands on the ground and like... Yeah, like this. And then his normal landing is his more iconic one. And then if you do a huge jump, he should land with both his hands. Yeah. There's a couple unused animations in this. None of those were used in Web of Shadows as far as I know. But then, just when you're like just jumping about, y'all might notice that. This is the same type of dive animation and, like, I guess gameplay that is featured in Web of Shadows, which is pretty cool. But there's even more. So, if y'all play with Shadows, y'all might know that you can switch in between the black suit and the red suit at any time. Or the symbiote suit, if you will. And well, this version of the character, we can do just that. Oh yeah, interesting thing, this also has slightly different combat. As y'all can see, it's very different from the usual combat, and is actually super different from the combat used in Web of Shadows. So that just shows how much of an early build of it is, that it's a completely different system almost. And to show that it's different from the usual one, let me just get this game's version back. Here's this game's version. This is just me pressing X a bunch. And then let me do this version's X presses. They're similar, but this one's more, I guess, it looks to me like more cartoony and exaggerated, I guess you can say, and he also is very much more lean forward. But then you get into his Y attacks, and yeah, his Y attacks are wildin'. But then you get to, you know, this game's Y attacks, and they're not that, you know, so it is a different animation set. And then we have this version, which, as far as I can tell, isn't different from the Spider-Man 3 black suit, just a different model. But the black suit with this one is different, so it uses the Web of Shadows white, the Web of Shadows red combat. So that's interesting, because the characters are, you know, they have the characters and all that, and they function differently based off, you know, which version. But that's not it. You probably thought, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, you know, just some models from the game, that's something. But there's more, folks. There's more. Okay. So, first off, let's get into it. I'm thinking what I should try to show y'all first. I think first off I want to show, there's actually about 2 to 3-ish, no, about 2-ish scripted segments that are basically early versions of missions from Web of Shadows, but the interesting thing is, they're not the same missions from Web of Shadows. So, actually, okay, this is something cool that I want to show off before showing off the mission. Let's go to Art Test 2 real quick. The Helicarrier from Web of Shadows appears. And now, seeing the Helicarrier in Spider-Man 3 is just crazy since, you know, Spider-Man 3 the game never had the Helicarrier. Let me see if I can, like, get up there, because you can somewhat get up there. Now, the Helicarrier doesn't have any real, like, physics to it, like you can't get on the Helicarrier. But for some reason, part of it is swingable on, like I can swing on part of the Helicarrier. So let me just get up here real quick. Oh no. But yeah, the Helicarrier from Web of Shadows is here. This never appears in Spider-Man 3 the game. Yeah, as you can see, the Helicarrier doesn't have any physics to it, which is a bit sad, but I don't even think it has in the original game in Web of Shadows. So yeah, we have that. Let's get rid of this for now, only because it's not needed. So I've shown y'all that. So the Web of Shadows from that game, bleh. The Helicarrier. I said this word so many times growing up. I've said bleh. 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 But yeah, so yeah, the Helicarrier from Web of Shadows appears. But there's more. There is a, I'm not fully sure where it would place in Web of Shadows, but right here we have a mission from apparently Web of Shadows. Let me just press RT, I think it's A. Of this. And this destroyed city never appears in game. Like, you know, there's like, you know, destroyed cars and, you know, like rubble and stuff everywhere. There's a literal part of a building blown off. doesn't appear in the game though. Like the building doesn't appear far enough. Interesting thing though is that like this timer. Oh, there was not a collision. That timer isn't important. Nothing happened when it goes down. It just gives you an objective. Now, interesting thing about this is, I haven't been able to get the audio to work for it, but in the video I found that talked about this, the developer version, debug, build of the game, is that there's actually some audio playing. I couldn't get it to work properly, only because it just takes some finicking to get it to work, but there's actually there's a incoming transmission call from the Helicarrier from Nick Fury. And the thing is, Nick Fury never appears in Spider-Man Web of Shadows. He never appears in Web of Shadows. So that means Nick Fury has a cut dialogue in this game. Oh yeah, there's also a helicopter flying around, which I noticed, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Nick Fury, apparently, apparently was meant to be in an early version of the game, but was cut out from Web of Shadows in late development. Then if we run into here, it just says mission complete, and then it just disappears. It just goes back to normal. But that's not all. There's one more thing that I haven't fully been able to do, but there is a playable mission that apparently was going to be playable in Web of Shadows that was cut out in development, probably in the early build of the game. Now, interesting thing about this mission is that Web of Shadows features a symbiote invasion. The thing is, the symbiotes, they don't really, aside from Venom, oh no, ignore it. Okay, that's not good. It's just, okay, sorry about this. It is a very finicky build of the game. It crashes a lot, and certain things will just nuke it. So, sorry for this. I'm gonna get the crap. Dang it. Okay, I booted up the wrong thing, so this should be good though, so I'm just gonna get it back to working. But yeah, since this is a very finicky build of the game, it crashes like a lot. So, let's get back into this. Okay. So first off, let me just get my upgrades that I had, because I basically, for some reason, a few things are disabled, a bunch of things. All I'm enabling is swing boost, double jump, and then the fastest swing speed. Are basically all I'm adding, just so this could be, go a bit smoother. And just for the sake of the game, I think I want to just go into there, so I just don't take damage, only just so I can help speed this up. So I've shown y'all the Helicarrier, I've shown y'all that little playable mission. Now, let's get into something that's really cool about this. Now, a lot of these don't really work. These work for the most part. All they really show though is just the cutscene we saw earlier, but I'm not sure what's different. These three don't do anything, but May and April have their own cutscenes for them. Some of these either don't work or crash it, so I'm not going to test it. But this one right here, Act 0 Symbiote 01 Bus Escort. This, after loading, pulls up this. Storyboard for Web of Shadows. And then, we're on a mission. But yeah, so basically this is a very early version of a mission from Web of Shadows with storyboards and stuff. So I guess I'm just gonna play through the mission and hope it doesn't crash this time. Oh yeah, as I was saying earlier about the game, Spider-Man 3 not having symbiotes, but Web of Shadows does. To account for that in this game is there are symbiotes. They just replaced them with Venom. Yeah, there's just a bunch of Venoms running around. I'll see if I can find one running around. They basically just replaced the symbiotes in this game with Venom. There he is. Yeah, they just replaced the symbiotes with Venom since they didn't have any people to use for it. And then we get into this cutscene.
Lady, help us! We need to get to that truck and get out of here! The things are everywhere! Game over, man! Oh.
And then we rescue these cops and get them into a car. I think for the sake of this mission, I'm going to use the Web of Shadows model, only because technically this is meant to be a Web of Shadows mission. Now, it's very early, yeah. As y'all can tell, it's very early in development, just because, one, it's in a completely different game, and two, those, you know, little things, that was a storyboard basically showing that they didn't even have the game really complete. That was just, you know, they didn't have even fully have cutscenes. Alright. Come on. Pick them up. I was pretty sure this was... Yeah, it is doable with them. Okay. And let's just go on with this. Funny thing about this... Oh no, that's a lot of people. There's a section of this mission where you drive a car. I don't know whether Shadows is gonna have drivable cars, but there's a section of this mission where you just straight up drive a car. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's silly, why are you driving a car? There's no need to drive a car. Why? I don't know why it keeps crashing, but it does. Okay, it usually doesn't crash, so I don't know what's causing it. It actually let me get through a good bit of the mission before acting up, so I don't know why it's crashing now. I don't know what's causing it to crash. I hope we can do the mission. I'm pretty sure we should be able to. So I don't know what's causing it to crash, because like when I was testing it out earlier, it let me do like the entire thing. Well, most of it. I did something that caused the game to crash, but I don't think it was just the mission itself crashing, it was just the mission glitching. So, let's try this again. Oh no. Oh yeah, interesting thing I noticed is that like the civilian dialogue when they like see you is there's some that are in Spider-Man 3 and some that aren't, so I don't know if they were like prototype civilian dialogues for Web of Shadows, because like some of them they're never said in this game, so I'm just assuming they were prototype dialogues for the civilians in Web of Shadows. But yeah, interesting thing is, it took me a while to find this, actually, because after I saw the video that had the demo on it, well, the video showcasing this, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting, I might, you know, try to track it down. It took me a while to track it down. It was not an easy, not that it wasn't an easy find, it's just technically this was on the 360. Okay. It just refuses to work. Interesting. Well, seeing as how it keeps crashing, I think I might end this for now, and if y'all want to see me try to finish it and see if I can get it to work, I guess just comment, I guess. I don't know why it keeps crashing, it just does. Well, I guess that's it for now. It keeps crashing, so I guess I won't be able to show y'all the full mission. I'll just give you a basic rundown of what happened. Basically just, you save those cops, you put them in the car, they drive to a church, you fight some symbiotes for a minute. They're like, okay, that dude's about to die, take him to this place. So you take the dude there, you go back, then they're like, oh wait, okay, now you need to go to the museum, there's people there. So you go to the museum, you get in the car, drive the car with people in it. That's where the game crashed for me, so I don't know what happens after you drive the car with people in it. But, yeah, I guess that's it for now. Sorry it kept crashing. That's it for now. If y'all want to see more, I guess comment. That's it for now. If y'all like the video, consider liking and subscribing, and that's it for now. See ya.